All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope that woke everybody up from their lunch. Let's get started. My name's Andrew Humber. I'm the VP of Marketing at Ryff. I'd like to welcome you all today to our session entitled Out of Home, It's Coming Home. And hopefully with England's performance last weekend, we're not the only ones doing that. So let me start asking a couple of questions. Who in this room is a brand or an agency representing brands? All right, good stuff. And how many of you guys are already doing out-of-home advertising or some sort of TV advertising? Wonderful. Okay, good. We've got the right crowd. So as the video said, we are Elonex Ryff. We're a new joint venture launching here at MadFest to launch a first-of-its-kind ad unit called In Scene Out of Home. To explore this topic with me a little more, my fabulous guests, we have Duermeijer, who is Chief Content Officer at Ryff, and Nick Smith, who is CEO of Elonex. Welcome, guys. So Nick, you started in the computer industry back in, dare I say, '86. Now you're an out-of-home media owner. How did that happen?
Well, at Elonex, we actually love technology, obviously for the products we produced in the past, and believe it or not, we love billboards. So we spent 1986 to 2008 building and developing tech like smart TVs, Kindle, and the world's first sub-100-pound laptop. That was basically a processor chip that we found inside my brother's washing machine. In 2008, we started to develop digital out-of-home screens and a digital out-of-home network across the UK that now encompasses about 1,000 screens in roadside, shopping malls, and tier 1 retail parks and leisure. Then we found we needed digital out-of-home screens in places where they're not required 365 days a year. For example, your university campus for Freshers Week or something like that. So what we then did is we developed mobile billboards, digivans, pop-up digital 48 sheets that come on containers that go up in 20 seconds, maybe 20 minutes. And then we built all these mobile screens and we put here. So we're stood in front of one now. You've got digivines out there, and outside you actually see a Land Rover Defender, which we've built, which is fully EV. So that's the battery and the screen and everything there as well. So we love the growth, we love the industry. But we constantly try tech, which is interesting when it's billboards. And then 18 months ago, my excitement hit the stratosphere. I bumped into an old pal of mine called Roy Taylor, who was previously a VP of NVIDIA, AMD. And what Ryff had done is they'd found a way of virtual product placement into movies and TVs. And what we decided we wanted to do was embellish that further and work out how we could put fixed billboards within the TVs. So, if possible, let's talk now in scene out of home.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Ryff isn't a billboard company, and that's not how we began our journey. So perhaps you could share a little bit about our journey and how we came to partner with Elonex.
Yeah, so Ryff is a fairly new company, concentrating on bringing brands and agency to content and actually bring the brands to the content they love and they fit into. So what we do is we offer a flexible and scalable solution. We partner with the content providers. We take the materials, we scan the materials for thousands and thousands and metadata points. And then we create something called scene intelligence, or you could say it's sort of smart content, so we know everything that's in the content. So we can find tables, we can find chairs, we can find people, we can find anything. But that's not the only thing we find. We also understand what's in the scene, so context. And once we can make that combination between content and context, we look for opportunities, we find and we create opportunities to actually insert 2D and 3D materials. So think about 3Ds. Think about this can that's here on the table. We could virtually place that in. Or we could also do a car in a parking lot. And 2D is all about billboards and posters. That brings us back to the billboards and the out-of-home.
Yeah, absolutely. So I imagine a lot of people in the audience are familiar with traditional product placement. I'm sure we can all think of good examples and some that make our skin crawl. But I expect few people here. How many people here have heard of virtual product placement before as an area? Yeah, so not too many. So perhaps it would be helpful just to share some examples of the efficacy of the platform. To put it short, does it work? What sort of results have we seen?
Yeah, so of course we've seen that it works, otherwise we wouldn't continue doing this, and we think it's a massive opportunity for now, for the future as well. I think where it goes. And research has shown that using the virtual product placement and showing people within the content that we got 30% increase in purchase intent, and we got 69% increase in product recognition. We've done a study with Kantar where we put Diageo Baileys into Christmas content, and that showed also quite an increase in sales.
So when we think about in-scene, out-of-home, what we're really talking about is extending existing digital out-of-home campaigns into in-scene content, which is an interesting thread that I want to pull on a little more. Nick, it likely affords the advertiser a lot of benefits with regards to more precise audience targeting, more eyeballs. Can you elaborate on what you're doing with the Ryff platform and how you're going to benefit brands?
Yeah, sure. So when we looked at what Ryff had produced for virtual product placement, we thought about this a lot and how it fitted into what we did. And our view is the consumer absorbs advertising when it's in an advertising form. So if you're watching football and you see the billboards or the LED around the outside, you absorb that because it's an advertising form. So we worked with Ryff to build opportunities to have stock billboards and street furniture and drop that into television and movies. So for example, I don't know, a digital 6-sheet in Hollyoaks. We're putting that digital 6-sheet in it and it's always there. And it will be there for 5 or 10 years. So we're like buying the real estate. And then what you can then do is buy it in a similar way to buy an out-of-home where you can actually buy the billboards on there. Or the fire station in Ghostbusters has now got a digital 48 sheet outside it. And if you've got the right brand, then we can put that on there as well. So we can now sell an out-of-home campaign to people that not only when they're at home, but when they actually start looking at the screen. Be it on their mobile, watching a movie, TV, or on the way back from Madfest today, if somebody's watching a TV programme, then they could be seeing a billboard within that. So that's, and then obviously also then there's extension into mobile, into social.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, so Mara, when we think about the big benefits for advertisers, we've talked a little bit about targeting, we've talked a little bit about getting more eyeballs for the content. What are some of the big takeaways that brands can think about with regards to the benefits of running a program like this?
Yeah, so I think basically it comes down to a few really big benefits. One of it's quite effective because you can target certain audiences. You can really target the audiences that you want to reach. The other thing is you can localize. So especially when you want to target certain markets or it's easier to divide. You can use the same amount of content for different purposes. I think it's efficient, so you can reach large numbers, and especially what we see with the socials, some of the content on the normal channels reach an X amount of viewers, but then there's another hundreds or millions using the social media. You can play with that as well. Another thing, which is, I know it's always a topic, it's sustainable. If you do traditional product placement, you need to bring all your stuff to the set. That doesn't need to be anymore. We drop it in for you. And I think it's the speed. So we can really turn this around fast. Think about hours, days, instead of weeks or months. And that means as well that you can go into content that's already launched or already filmed or about to launch and play with that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember speaking to a producer once who said that if you can get the product placement people off my set, I'd be very grateful.
I know, a lot of producers say that.
Yeah, so this all sounds great. I'm sure it raises a lot of eyebrows with regards to how brands get access to the content and what type of content they can access to. What can you share on that?
Well, we build relationship with most of the content providers and think about broadcasted networks. If you look at the UK, Channel 4, ITV, but think also about the fast channels. They're growing really rapidly. So think about Rakuten, who's doing a lot of stuff. Think about socials, online influencers. Anyone that has content can work with us, and we work with them. And if we don't have it, we'll source it. So if we have specific requests, we've got quite an okay access to, or say, pretty brilliant access to the content providers.
Okay. Both Elonex and Ryff are very visual people. So we're going to show you another little video now to give you an example of what these insertions look like. All right. Now that's a demo that we prepared for a very well-known trainer brand. We had to remove the branding for this particular event, but for any MadFest marketing people in the room, this is your 2025 campaign taken care of. Cabana 3 for more information, tell them Andrew sent you. To wrap us up, Nick, you want to give us a message for what Elonex would like to do with brands at the show?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to reach out to you here. We're a company of geeks. I mean, we've developed this. We're not actually from the advertising sector, although we own billboards. We think we've designed something that's absolutely amazing, but you guys might not. And we really want you to give us feedback. There's loads of people around with the Elonex Ryff tops on. We've got a stand there as well. But we're going to offer you a deal. And the deal's this. We're looking for 6 to 8 brands. And if you're buying out of home at the moment, we're going to offer you to media match the brands into TV and movie. We're not going to charge you extra. We're just going to put you in there. We just want 6 to 8 brands to actually show this tech. It is incredible. And when you come, or we come to you and show you how it works, I mean, it will take your breath away. And I think the opportunity is massive. But listen, you lead. So we can deliver it. If you can help us to deliver it to the customers, the brands, or you as the brands, it will be amazing. But please come and talk to us, yeah? We're here. So we'd love to hear your feedback.
All right, that just about wraps it up. We are 3 cabanas down on your left, so come talk to us. Everybody wearing these wonderful shirts. I see a few of you in the room here. Come talk to us. That just about wraps it up. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Ma. And thanks for you lot for coming along today. Have a great rest of MadFest. Thank you.